She's looking fucking mint. Wait, what's that thing? It's like fucking minging or something. I don't know. I just heard somebody was some TikTok or something. Somebody was talking about like a drink or something. They were like, "I tried this thing. It's fucking minging."
Minging.
I don't know what that means, but I love it now.
I don't know.
You don't have any what's your like go-to accent? Is it
My go-to? I don't know. I love accents. I love like all of them. British, it just always just happens when I'm like thinking.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to think of something and I pause, I'm
Right,
like
yeah.
this. Or like if I want to yell, I'll just do like Scottish or Irish or something.
Yeah. I feel like I've done something similar to that of like, oh my god, I just lost my train of thought.
Yeah, I have this. My sister got me this game. It's called Utter Nonsense, and it's like an accent game where you have,
really?
you know how like Cards Against Humanity, you have like a bunch of phrases in your hand, and you have to like pick one that goes the best.
Mm-hmm.
Every round there's an accent drawn, and you have to pick which like phrase is the best in that accent.
Oh god.
It's a good time.
It's
really funny when people like aren't good at it too, and like they're just really trying. It's good fun.
That's fun. That sounds awesome, actually. I would love to play something like that. Evie got me a. We haven't played it yet, but it's like Evie got me this game for Christmas. It's like knuckle tattoo drawing game or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but it's cool. I like it.
Nice.
Yeah, we love games here, which I will talk about to you in a moment. But first, hi everyone. That's the intro. Wasn't that swell? Wasn't that a solid intro?
It was solid, I would say.
Thank you. Hey everyone, hello, welcome back. It's been a while. I'm here with my buddy Travis. I don't even want to try to pronounce your last name because I feel like I'm going to butcher it.
Antonello.
Okay, I thought
you could say Antoniello or like Antonello. It's not
like
Antoniello.
That's what I thought it was. So
yeah,
I'm glad
that's what a lot of people think it is.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't try to do that. But yeah, thanks for being here. He's a good friend of mine. Lovely lad. Travis, why don't you introduce yourself and kind of like say who you are and what you do and everything?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I am Travis Antoniello. I am a musician, web developer, composer, lover of science and technology and big nerd. And yeah, I do vocals in Toothless. I play bass in Sleepsculptor and do some vocals in Sleepsculptor. And yeah, I also do like composition and scoring and stuff.
Hell yeah. It's funny that you said stuff about like web design and whatnot, because that's part of like one of the questions I have is about that. So that's a perfect segue. So before we start talking about music, because we can talk about that for a while. Before we dive into music, I want to ask about your interest in like technology and I guess like technology and stuff like that. Like, because I know that you've done like website. I feel like you've done websites before, right?
Yeah. So that's actually like my day job as a web developer for 5 years now, actually, like pretty recently.
Damn. I thought it was just like something you did for fun. I get paid for doing this.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so that's like, like websites, like coding. I know you're also really big into VR and gaming and whatnot. So
dabble in game dev.
Oh, do you really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So that's actually how I got started doing web development. Was before like my web development job, I was doing. I worked for a company called VR Guest, and
that's a cool name. I like that.
Yeah, I started out doing like kind of level design and like environment design for VR experiences that were like kind of custom built experiences for like per client. So like there was a spa and we made like a VR experience for it where like when you're waiting, like you put on the headset and you're in this like kind of zen room and you watch a video on like how to use like the flotation pods in the spa and whatnot.
That's so cool.
Yeah, but through that, like I kind of branched into like all this other stuff that the owner of the company was also into, and then that got me into web development and like kind of maintenance on websites and stuff. And then from there, I ended up getting a job at Cole Creative where I work now.
That's cool. Yeah, because I remember like I've talked to you about VR before. I feel like you've given me like tech advice and VR advice before. I think we were playing games one time and you're like, oh, you want to play this? I was like, I don't know if my computer can handle it. Like, how do I check what that is? And then you told me, which thanks a lot for that. But you were like, oh, what kind of like, what's your like specs or whatever? And I told you, and you were like, oh, you'll be good. So
Yeah. I'm still into game dev. I've actually recently picked up learning Unreal Engine. I learned development on Unity for a while, and then that was around when the HTC Vive came out. Like I started learning game development specifically for virtual reality, because that's what I wanted to do. I was like, I want to be able to make stuff for this. So learned it on that. Ended up getting that job. Ended up doing web development for so many years, and then recently, just now, I picked up Unreal Engine, and I've been working on a little VR like survival horror game.
Ooh.
And
is that going to be just for HTC Vive, or is that going to like
no? So any of the VR headsets, it should be Oculus. It's mostly like a learning project for myself,
brother.
Yeah, dude, I got.
If you're only doing audio, I held up my. Oh, nice, hell yeah! If you're only doing audio, I held up my Oculus headset. So.
I've just been doing that, and
that's sick.
My spare time and learning.
Actually, like a while ago, I started to. So there was a time. I think it was when I heard about this game called Faith. It's like I think like 8 or 16-bit. It's really simplistic. It's a horror game, but it's like super simplistic. I saw that and I was like, I feel like this would be like, I mean, it'd still be difficult, but like, I feel like this would be easy enough to learn to like try to figure out something like that. So I started to like write a script, I guess, for like a horror game, and I based it off of my old job.
The horrors.
Yeah. Well, because there was like, oh God, I said my microphone. I'm sorry. There was things that happened at that job because I worked in a house with people.
I think I remember talking to you about your old job.
I probably have, yeah.
Yeah.
But like some people, the house was, long story short, the house was haunted. I think, anyways, like we definitely experienced some weird things, but I kind of just like was basing it off of that, and also like things that the individuals that lived there would like say or see or hear or whatever. So I just went with that, and I tried to make it more spooky. I don't know how good it is, but I've always wanted to do that, where like each night gets more, not like a Five Nights at Freddy's game.
Yeah.
I just realized I said it out loud, but each night gets more and more creepy. But
yeah, there's a Silent Hill game that does that, where you're locked in the room. Silent Hill: The Room.
That's my favorite game ever. I have a poster right there.
Yeah. I love the Silent Hill series. Grew up playing that.
Are you excited about how do you feel about the remake?
I haven't been following anything about it. Is it like the original game?
So they're remaking Silent Hill 2, which I'm sure you know about this, but if anybody doesn't, Silent Hill 2 is regarded as one of the, not even just as a horror game, but like one of the best video games like just ever made. Like the story is fantastic.
Played that a few times, I think.
Yeah.
Trying to get the unlockables.
Right, yeah.
Big old Pyramid Head sword.
Oh God, yeah. I wanted so badly to try to be Pyramid Head for Halloween one year, but I was like thinking about making the giant thing out of like cardboard, and I was like, this is too much work. I don't want to do this.
There's one dude on my Facebook that does cosplays and stuff, and he has a Pyramid Head costume. That's just
so cool. That's sick.
Insane. Yeah.
But yeah, I remember. They're remaking Silent Hill 2 with I think it's Bloober, the same team or the same dev team that made the Blair Witch game, which I played that. That was a pretty solid game. Scary as hell. But it was very cool. But so I'm how do I put this? I'm optimistic about the remake.
Okay.
I'm not super worried about it. Like, obviously, with every remake, there's going to have, like, some creative liberties that happen and everything.
Of course.
But they're also... This is what I'm cautiously optimistic about. They're also apparently making a movie about Silent Hill 2, which is fucking rad.
Okay.
Like, I love that concept. However, it from what I've heard, it is the same guy that made the first Silent Hill movie. And from what I remember and what I've heard, it wasn't that good. Like, they just... switched a lot of stuff around, and like
it
they
was
took
kind of like
multiple games to put in one
it was
movie,
like
and
set in the universe, but it was like its own thing.
Kind of, yeah. Like they took the story of Silent Hill 1, where it's like oh my god, I'm drawing a blank on his name, but like they took the story from Silent Hill 1 where like the guy's
Yeah.
trying to find his daughter or whatever.
Henry.
No, that's
H?
4.
I don't know.
Henry Townsend is
I'm just trying to think of like the intro,
yeah.
like
But
the
yeah, so
audio from it.
Essentially, the Silent Hill movie was not regarded that well. Like there definitely
Right.
was some cool moments, but like that's a whole other thing. But anyways, back to the like VR and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've seen that you've done like you've like streamed in VR and whatnot, and you do VR games and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You also did like a music video for Toothless in VR, right? It was for
Yeah.
what
So
song was it? I'm drawing a blank. I remember the
I was
video. It
just
was very
talking
cool.
about
But
Comfort, it's called.
okay, that's
Yeah.
How
so
difficult was that? Like, what went into that? 'Cause
Dude,
that's
it's
cool.
really not bad. So that VR guest job I talked about, I was able to use these cameras. So these cameras don't only shoot in 360. They shoot in what's called stereoscopic 360.
Sure.
So there's a 360-degree image for each eye. So
sorry, I burped. I'm sorry, but that's really cool.
that's yeah. So that's that's how you can like get that depth.
Okay.
So like these video files are like massive. So there'd be like 8K square videos with a rectangular one on the top and bottom. So the left eye on the top and right eye on the bottom or whatever.
Yeah.
And you bring that into like Adobe Premiere, and that has like VR editing capabilities and like pre-built plugins and whatnot. So, dude, the hardest part about that was just like ripping through the whole song in a take and just trying to go crazy.
Oh yeah.
Because it's
yeah,
one
really.
take.
Yeah.
You know,
Did
it
you guys
could
have
be
to
multiple
Did you guys have
takes.
to do a few different takes for it? Or,
I think
I'm
we
assuming
did
that you did more than
2.
one, but
We did 2 or 3.
Okay.
I think.
because that would make sense to like get everything set up. It's like, all right, we're doing it once. Cool. Go home.
Yeah, dude. We set up the lights. We blasted the fog. It's like, all right, you're ready. Let's go.
Yeah.
Start the song, like blast it on the PA and just like playing along with it. And, just trying to stay moving the whole time to keep it exciting. But yeah, that's on the Toothless YouTube channel. And there's also, I designed it in a way where it's like, it's a lyric video too. So it's performance and you see the lyrics and then you see the lyrics move and you're like, oh wait, I could turn and look. And then you realize, like, if you didn't realize at that time yet, you could, click and drag and move around and, like, see. So if you do have a VR headset, you can watch it in 3D, like 360.
I think I remember, like, I saw that it was a VR thing already, and I think I did, like, the click and drag kind of thing on YouTube. Mm-hmm. But then I remember when I got the Oculus Quest, or the Quest 2, I got this, and I was just kind of, like, getting used to it, like, waiting for people to hop in for games or whatever. And I remembered, I was like, oh, yeah, Toothless has a VR video. So I watched that. It was so cool.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah.
So, like, what is it about, like, VR and, like, web development and design and stuff like that that, like, drew you in? Because you seem, like, very interested in it and very knowledgeable about it. So, like, what drew you into that kind of stuff?
I don't know. Like, technology stuff, I've just always been into programming and technology and whatnot. With VR, it's kind of like, I'm really attracted to it because I think it's really so good at like conveying the sense of space and whatnot that nothing else can really do. Mm-hmm. And like it's slowly catching on, which is cool. But not everybody has a headset. It's expensive to get into. If you're trying to like, play games and stuff, you need like a good PC and whatnot.
Yeah.
But like the way that I watched basically this kind of like documentary episode where so instead of doing like a full 360 video, you can do a 180 video, and it's more like a traditional like you are the director, you can kind of show people where to look and whatnot. Mm-hmm. It was a 180 3D video of this dude going into some jungle and visiting a tribe, and like it was like just clips of them dancing, them like going down a boat in a river, and just stuff like that, and it just like puts you there, and it's so sick.
Yeah. There's been a few times where like I think I don't want to say desensitized because that sounds bad, but like I've kind of become desensitized a little bit, I guess, in certain aspects, because like when I first started playing, like doing things in VR, I was very much like, oh God, I feel like I'm going to fall off this building or, whatever. I still have that obviously, but like, I feel like I'm just able to be like, oh yeah, I'm in VR now. This is still crazy, and I still feel weird, but like I know that I'm
Hmm.
in VR. But
Yeah, you kind of
it's
get
a
your
really
VR
cool feeling.
legs, so
Yeah,
to
yeah.
speak. Yeah,
That
yeah.
actually that actually reminded me. It's really funny they said VR legs because there's one thing that I read a couple years ago. So I don't remember what place it was, but I saw that some like research company or something along those lines were taking VR headsets and putting them onto like paraplegics or like people who
Hmm.
couldn't use their legs.
Right.
And it was very subtle, very little, but they were still able to like they like had them
Yeah.
up in a harness and everything, and like they started moving their legs a little bit. Like again, very little, but like the VR was like kind of like tricking their brain into being like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I can move my legs." And then they just started doing it.
That's
And that
wild.
was
Yeah.
so cool. And I remember that's when there was like kind of a I don't want to say like vendetta against it, but like that's kind of when people were sort of in the mindset of like video games are bad and like nothing good comes from video games. They're just mindless kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is just gonna like kind of like come and go all the time. But
Yeah, I think that mentality's fading a little bit
oh,
more and more
absolutely,
as it becomes more mainstream and like one of the most, highest grossing
yeah,
industries.
yeah. Like I bought the Quest 2 specifically because my one friend had it, and he
Mhm.
wanted to like like play games together while we're like all in different places, and also
Yeah.
like we just watch anime together. We'll just like
Yeah.
go on big screen and just like just
Yeah,
sit in
yep.
here and just watch big
Just
screen.
hang out.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really fun.
There was I forget, I think it was a Math Core Index thing. Um they did like a virtual Math Core Index fest. So
Mm-hmm.
Sleep Sculptor recorded our set, and then I ended up like watching it with like a random fan that I didn't know in something like big screen.
Oh, that's so cool.
And and it was pretty neat. It was just like I was hanging out with them
That's
like at
cool as
this kind
hell.
of watch party thing.
That's rad. That's awesome. I love
Yeah.
that.
But yeah, it's so much more than just like
Yeah.
gaming. It really is something that could be great for like journalism and
Yeah.
putting people in that. And then like you said, like sometimes this research and like technology ends up like expanding in ways that you didn't know, and
Exactly. Yeah.
you end up like learning new things,
Hmm.
just because of different explorations and experiments
Yeah.
and stuff. So
And
super cool.
I feel like they're also trying to find more ways to use it instead of just like, oh yeah, you can play virtual reality games. Like they've been doing
Yeah.
like meetings, and like I know that one of the like one of the ads for Oculus was like people were like recording music together, but like in different places, but they were like had the
Yeah.
headset on and they were doing. I don't know, it was weird, but I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
But you mentioned video games. I know that you're big into video games, and we've played Factorio before,
We have.
which is I don't know why, but it's one of my like it's just so fun. I don't know why, but like we should do that again sometime, by the way.
Yeah.
Like what is it about that game that's so addicting to play? Like why is it just so fun to just like play that and shut your brain off?
I feel like Factorio is one of those games where you can learn it as you go. So like you don't have to be great at it, but you can still like
Oh,
get
I'm
from
not.
point A to point B. But like then you learn how to like optimize things and make things better.
Hmm.
And like you just have that like sense of fulfillment when you just iterate and get
Yeah.
better and like I don't know, more efficient at it and
Yeah.
stuff.
That's like
I Yeah, that's something I'll play with my buddy too. Like we'll just set up a new world and just like we'll chat and just play, and it's just relaxing, just like setting up the factories. And I
yeah,
don't know.
like you and I have so that's one of the few games that I've played on stream that
Hmm.
like I'm comfortable that's one of the few games that I've played on stream where I'm comfortable like I'm able to just like talk about what I'm doing, and like
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about like how I'm explaining it or anything like that. And I do kind of figure it out as I go because I go months without playing it, and then I forget.
Mhm.
But I'm able to like pick it up quick. And then like I remember when I relearned how to like put down like a boiler or something like that, basically to like get
Mhm.
energy from putting the thing like the offshore pump and everything.
Yeah.
I was really struggling with that, and then I figured it out, and I was so hyped.
Yeah, yeah, you have that sense of like discovery and
Yeah.
figuring it out yourself.
But yeah, it's just so fun. I want to play it again now. But like what other types of games do you normally play? Like mainly stuff like Factorio or
Um, all kinds of different stuff, really. One thing that I really like playing a lot is Rocket League.
Nice.
So me and Brian Zanetti will play doubles a lot,
Nice.
and we've kind of formed like Just a really good chemistry when it comes to like 2v2 games, and then we'll be working on like different strategies and plays and stuff like that.
Nice.
That's really fun. We also just picked up an escape room game where it's just like kind of
Ooh.
chilling. We're just, solving puzzles together and hanging out.
What's
More
that one
like
called?
a escape simulator.
Oh, okay. Is that VR or just like regular like?
No, just it has VR. They're
Ooh,
actually going to be doing a VR one. They have a demo
nice,
right now, I think.
nice.
Um,
That sounds cool.
but
I want to play that.
yeah, it's cool. Yeah, just like those kind of like low key hangout games are a lot of fun.
Hmm.
Because like with Discord, like a lot of times we're in there kind of just like chilling and talking, and then like if we play something, we play something.
Yeah.
Um, there's what's Plate Up? Did you ever hear that?
What is it? Like plate up?
Plate Up. It's like a co-op cooking game
Okay, I was gonna
where
say I think I've heard of that, but I don't know
do you
much
know
about
like
it.
Overcooked?
I know about Overcooked. Yeah, it's the same
It's
thing essentially.
it's like Overcooked, and they added in like some automation. So it's like a
Oh,
hint of
okay.
Factorio like added
Oh,
into Overcooked. You
hell
can
yeah.
get like conveyor belts and stuff to like do auto like mixers and things like that.
Nice.
But it's really fun. It's chill cooking with your friends at first, and like you have someone bringing out the food and whatnot. But
Nice.
then it's like it becomes the bear, and then it's just chaos where it's like there's orders and you have to get them out. And
Yeah, that sounds cool. That sounds awesome. I think
all kinds
Evie
of
and I
games though.
were I think Evie and I were talking about how we want to play Overcooked
Hmm.
because we're trying to find like more like multiplayer games that her and I can just like play on the couch or something.
Yeah,
So
yeah, Blade Up's cool.
we want to try Overcooked. We started doing It Takes Two, but
Okay.
that was on the PS4, and then I bought a PS5. Well, I'm still paying off the PS5. I bought it specifically to play Spider-Man 2. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. That was the main reason I bought it.
Dude, yeah, I bought the Spider-Man game, the remake, and
Oh
it took
yeah.
me a while to like come back to it, but I love just like
Well,
swinging around and
I also got it for like Silent Hill 2. Like, there's other games that are coming out that I want,
right.
but I know that Spider-Man was like a PS5 exclusive or
Hmm.
a PlayStation exclusive, and I remember I think I like posted a status about it because my one friend, I asked them, I was like, hey, so like I let them borrow my old Oculus Rift. I was
Hmm.
like, hey, so like you remember how I let you borrow my Oculus? Like, can I borrow your PS5 for like 3 days so I can binge play Spider-Man 2 and I'll just buy it for you? And I was trying to like just see if I could borrow because I
Yeah,
didn't feel
yeah.
like buying an entire thing just to play a game once, or you know what I
Did
mean?
you ever play the Spider-Man Homecoming demo?
I did, yeah.
It's
Or
like
yeah, I
you
think
swing
so.
around in VR.
Yeah, yeah. There's
Pretty
actually
crazy.
oh shoot, what game? I don't it might have been it might have been VR chat. But there was some game that I played with my buddy Brian. He's the one that like got me into VR and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um it's just like a random like VR chat world, but in this one
Okay.
you can just like it's just a world to play a Spider-Man. So I was swinging around. It was so cool. I
That's sick.
fucking love Spider-Man. He's like I like Evie makes fun
If
of me and calls me nerdy for like my
if I
love
had
of
to pick
Spider-Man.
like a superhero or like, like a favorite one, I think even when I was a kid, like that would be my go-to.
Oh yeah, I like comics. Can you tell? I'm wearing a Marvel T-shirt. If you're only listening to audio, but yeah, love Ghost Rider. I think my top three, like when it comes to comic book characters, my top three heroes, I think in this order are Spider-Man number one, Daredevil number two. I fucking love Daredevil,
That's
and
probably my second pick too.
and then number three, I'd have to go with Captain America because I love Cap. I love Chris Evans, and I just love Cap as a character.
Okay.
Well,
I don't even know what like a third would be. I feel like it would have to be somebody from the X-Men.
Oh man, yeah, I know.
I always thought Nightcrawler was sick.
Nightcrawler is so cool. Are you like big?
Yeah.
Are you like into comics or anything like that? Like stuff like
Not
that?
really.
Okay.
No. I feel like I could be, but not really.
I was into comics when I was younger, like when I was like like preteen, and then like a little bit after like being a teenager, and then I kind of just like stopped, kind of fell off, and then I remember my mom took me out of school to go see the Iron Man movie.
That's sick.
Which, yeah, honestly, looking back, I'm like, that's cool as hell. I love that. Like, I remember my brother came in and he was wearing an Iron Man hat, and like he came in and I thought something happened with like him and his girlfriend, and that's why I was getting taken out of school. And I was like, "Hey, what's going on? Is everything okay?" And he's like playing with his hat, trying to like drop a hint or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just like, "Yeah, no, everything's fine. We're just we got some stuff to do." And then I get in the car and I'm like, "What happened? Is everything okay?" And she's like, and my mom's like, "Yeah, we're just gonna go see Iron Man." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And I think that obviously, yeah, it was so cool. I remember I got like an Iron Man poster from the movie theater and I put it in my bedroom, and it was cool as hell. I love that.
That's so sick.
But yeah, I love comics. I've been trying to get more into the actual comics and not just like the live action stuff.
Yeah, I definitely have an appreciation for like the art form.
Oh yeah,
like
same
just,
here.
All the thought that goes into like lining and coloring and just the dialogue and like just the breakdown
like
of all
of it, story
and
everything.
Yeah.
I just have such a hard time focusing on anything. So like I want to read books more, but like I love comics, but I can barely focus on that. Like I'm not gonna be able to sit down and read a book.
My one buddy for my birthday got me this this graphic novel called Orbiter.
Ooh,
about this like living spaceship. It's super sick.
That sounds really cool.
But
that sounds like something that my buddy Brian would like. He loves sci-fi stuff.
It's really cool. Yeah, it's called Orbiter. But that's like really the only graphic novel I've ever like sat and like, read.
I read most
but, like,
of the
art,
Watchmen. I think that's the first one that I like read graphic novel wise.
Mm-hmm.
There's one that I heard of called, if I'm not mistaken, this is what it's about, but it's called Chew. Okay. It's from, if I'm not mistaken, it's this guy who's a detective, and he has the ability to like, if he eats something, he can see like the last few seconds or last few minutes of their life or whatever.
Kind of like elves in Divinity or in Divinity Original Sin, elves can like eat.
Oh, really?
They can eat people and like relive their memories.
Oh man, that's so horrifying.
Anyhow,
that's such a horrifying concept. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much the same thing. Yeah. But yeah, I think he does that to like solve like murders and stuff like that, which kind of fucked up. But it's it's a super interesting concept. There's that, and I can't remember what it's called, but I think there's one that an old friend of mine told me about where like this couple discovers that whenever they have sex and whenever they climax, time stops.
Okay.
So they just do that, and then they just rob a bunch of banks. So like they'll just be banging, and then they'll climax, and they're like, "Cool, let's go steal some money." And
win-win.
Right. All right, yeah. Enough nerdy stuff talking about banging in comic books. Yeah. So now that we covered like the nerdy tech stuff and video games and everything, I want to switch gears a little bit and go over to music, because you mentioned that you play in Toothless and Sleepsculptor. How long have you been playing music?
Oh man, really since I was a kid, I think. My dad's a musician, so I was always around like him playing acoustic guitar and harmonica, and he played bass in a cover band when he was growing up. So, I mean, I was always trying to mess around with everything I could get my hands on.
Nice.
So the first like bit of guitar I ever played was I kind of snuck his bass and like played with it a little bit.
Was that like the first instrument you played?
I mean, I'm trying to think. I played a recorder in 5th grade.
Oh yeah, I mean that's that's everyone's
the typical
first instrument.
School thing. Yeah.
What was the song you had to play on recorder?
Oh man, there were so many. BAG. I got a lot of candy in my BAG. You play the notes BAG.
Oh god. What was my
hot like cross buns, stuff like that.
The Ode to Joy. That's what it was. I learned Ode to Joy. Yeah, that was my first.
Yeah, I remember. I got a fill-in playing I don't even know, not marimba, whatever the metal ones are, crowtails or something.
Yeah,
I played instead of playing the recorder. My teacher was like, "Hey, can you fill in and like play this for this concert?" And I was like, "Okay, what is it?" And I learned it. But that was like 5th grade. I think I started. I want to say I started noodling on guitar in 3rd or 4th grade because my parents bought me like this really like this small acoustic guitar, and my dad started teaching me like power chords and then like some like
Nice.
cowboy chords and stuff like that.
Nice.
Um, but I mean, we had a piano in the house, so like I always messed around on the piano and learning like um, I don't know, uh, all kinds of random songs.
Nice. I was gonna say, I love
So,
that you just have a piano in the back in
yeah,
your background right now.
yeah,
Is that
this is
just
like
like
a
a big
recent
keyboard,
upgrade.
or is that like a whole ass
Yeah,
piano?
it's a MIDI controller. It's
Oh,
an
okay, okay, cool.
88 key. It's got like hammer action, so it feels like an actual
Nice.
piano. I just upgraded from like a 61 key that had like no hammer action, so it kind of just felt like
Is it
plastic.
clink 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 clink? Yeah.
Yeah, but this has like weight and like response to
Oh,
it.
okay. Piano is
Um,
the one instrument that I never played that my mom really wanted me to learn. For
yeah.
whatever reason, her reason was because she said I have piano fingers, which
Okay.
like, I don't know what that means, but thanks, mom. Like, cool, thanks.
Yeah,
for believing in me.
I've been taking piano more seriously over the last year because I've always dabbled in it and like with concert band I played trumpet in sixth grade upward or fifth grade upward.
Nice.
Wait,
Did you
I think
play?
recorder was third grade and then trumpet was fifth grade onward.
Okay. Did you did you play trumpet on any Sleep Sculptor stuff or anything like that? Because I feel like
Sleep Sculptor, not yet.
Oh, not yet. Oh, okay.
Not yet.
Did you play
I'm thinking
the,
about it. I'm writing right
accordion
now
on
for some
anything,
stuff.
or was that just to like wake people up? Because I
I
saw the
think
video
we-
of that and I thought it was hilarious.
No, I think we tracked accordion on something, but I can't remember what it was.
Really?
On the new record.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I definitely layered a guitar riff with it.
That's so cool.
But yeah, I also woke up the band in the morning with some accordion.
Because I remember seeing the video of you just like playing accordion, and James just comes in, and he literally, you're not gonna be able to, if you're only doing audio, you won't be able to tell, but he just comes in and he's just like, all right,
Yeah.
just shaking his head like yes.
He had to track drums, man. He had to get up.
Weird confused agreements or whatever agreement. Anyway,
No, that was like the first time I was able to like actually get my hands on an accordion, so I was like playing it as much as I could.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
I love like I've always wanted to try to throw stuff like that. Oh, hold on, come on, camera, easy. Okay. Hello, camera, computer. Okay, cool.
John.
I'm here. Okay, we're good now. Everything's fine. No one panic. It's fine. I've always thought it was cool, and I've always wanted to try to throw in something like that in like a heavy song.
Yeah.
Like, I remember one time, Head Splitter played with, we played Foreclosure Fest, which it was the Menzels from Keep Flying. They used to be in Survey Says.
Okay.
They did a Survey Says reunion. I think it was the night before we played. It was like a weekend thing, but their house was getting foreclosed, so they were like, "Oh well, one last big show." So they did Foreclosure Fest, and I remember talking to. It's such a good name. But I remember talking to their old trumpet player, or one of their old horn players. I don't remember exactly what they did, but I remember him saying something about. I was like, "Yeah, dude, come up, do whatever you want for our set. I don't care." And he made the joke about like hardcore with horns, and ever since then, I'm like, "Oh, I want that so bad." Like, I want to throw that in somehow. That'd be so.
It's a good way to say it too. Hardcore with horns.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of the mathcore stuff, like you'll find, has some different like experimental instrumentation with it. Like stuff like the Callistad Boys, they have the violinist,
Oh, yep.
and like stuff like Number 12 Looks Like You, and like all that like era of stuff
Yeah.
does have like those types of like random jazzy moments where there might be like a saxophone ripping or something
Yeah.
like that.
I think is it
yeah.
Plaster Saint where it's like really fast and then it's like yeah that part yeah
Yeah.
I listened to that today actually. I listened to some of that album.
Oh, sick. Thank you. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, that kind of segues into my next question. You're in two bands that I know of. You might be in more. I don't know, but I just know that you play a lot of instruments. Very talented man here. So you're in two bands that I know of, Toothless and Sleepsculptor. I first heard of Toothless, so I'm going to talk about them. I want to talk about them first. How did Toothless come to be?
So I think it was 2014 or 15. I was in college, and I didn't know all the dudes directly, but I think I had class with James. I had classes with James. I went to school for music recording technology. We all ended up going to like the same college together for the same program. So Eric and James were wanting to do like a heavy project, like hardcore, metalcore, chaos type of stuff.
Nice.
And they were trying out vocalists. So I ended up being put in touch with them. And yeah, they sent me some tracks. I wrote some vocals to, then went over for like an audition. So they were just playing the songs. I was screaming my lyrics and stuff. And yeah, that's how it all kind of started.
That's cool. I'm gonna kind of jump ahead in my questions
for sure,
just because it flows. Because I was curious because you were just talking about writing lyrics. What are some inspirations for you, like personally, like as a musician? Like, what do you, when it comes to music, like what do you normally write lyrics about?
Oh man, this is tricky. Really, it's like I really rely on these like sparks of inspiration to hit me.
Okay.
Or like just thinking back on like Toothless stuff, like the Red EP, a lot of that was kind of like politically charged, but not like directly political.
Okay.
Like I would say like when it comes to inspirations and stuff, like the messages with like System of a Down and things like that, where it's kind of like, yeah, like thinking about like what do we value as humans? Like why do we do the things we do? Like why are we so bad as a species? You know, like why do we care about the things we care about? Why is the evil and corruption in the world like even a thing? And like so like a lot of those like I guess roots you could say are kind of like at the base of a lot of it. Just like any kind of stuff I'm like kind of stirred up about, I can attack like more poetically.
Okay, that's cool. I like that.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that. That's a better answer than like I would have, because well, like most of the time whenever I write lyrics, it's just like I'm depressed. I've been trying. I've been trying to like
that connects with people, man.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
That's why I got into heavy music, because I didn't know how to describe what I was feeling. Or that's one of the reasons why I like it. Like I didn't know how to describe what I was feeling, but I was like, I know I'm feeling something and I don't like it and it sucks. And then I'd find a heavy band that like conveyed what I was feeling lyrically, and I'm like, oh, cool. I'm not alone in how I feel, kind of thing. So
yeah. And like sometimes I like to write bluntly about things and just be like, this is what I'm talking about. But other times I like to keep it more like nebulous and just be more about like conveying emotions and feelings. That's and cool. Just like getting that emotion out. And then if somebody interprets it in a certain way that connects with them more, like they have that. But you know, like when it comes with like those sparks of inspiration, I'll just be driving and like think about a line or like some clever way to say something. I'm like, that's cool. Like I want to write something around that. Like somebody just might say something in a conversation where it's like that could mean something. And like just like a weird combination of words that like I don't know.
No, I get that. I'm trying to think of like any that I have seen myself, but I can't think of any now. So I won't harp on it any longer. But no, that's cool. That's a really cool way. That's a cool way of thinking about it. I like that.
Thank you.
I've been trying. I know personally, I've been trying to like just kind of like challenge myself, I guess, when it comes to writing lyrics, because out of everything I do musically, I feel like lyric writing is like where I'm the weakest.
Right.
Not to say that I'm like great in anything, but like I feel like out of everything I do, that's like
it's where you want to improve the most.
Yeah. So I've been trying to find ways to write lyrics about other than just dealing with my depression, because like as important as it is to be able to get that out, and for like in my case like to let other people know like, hey, other people feel this too, you're not alone, kind of thing. I'm like, how many more times and how many more ways can I say that I'm sad? You know what I mean? Right. But I still will, but you know, so I've been trying to like find like a topic and just write about that. Like at one point I started kind of just like I started writing about Mothman, because I think Mothman's rad. I started writing about I started writing about Mothman. I started writing about the Salem witch trials. Have you heard of the Mandela Catalog?
I have not.
Ooh, you might like that. It's analog horror.
The Mandela Catalog?
Yeah, I'll send you a link. It's like
Yeah,
it's a big thing. But it's very cool. So, little backstory about the Mandela Catalog. It has this thing, or like I guess the story of it is like it's set in a universe where did you write it down?
I did.
Nice, cool. I love that. It's set in a universe where these things come to Earth that are called alternates, which are just like basically look like you and I. They look like humans, but they have like a physical impossibility about them, I guess. Like, yeah, I'll send you a video about it, but like it explains it a little more. But it's just such an interesting concept. It's dark as hell because like the whole thing about it is like alternates come and like they're like, we don't know how to defeat, like we don't know what to do about it, like we don't know how to defeat them. So we came up with like the think principle, which is like THINK stands for something, you know. And basically what happens, like if you interact with an alternate, they basically make you go insane until you kill yourself, and then they take over your body.
Crazy.
Like I said, it's dark as hell, but it's really interesting. And also like the person that made it, there's a lot of like, he like made a lot of lore about it, and also internet. I may be wrong, internet. I'm sorry if I am. But he
check
made a
the comments to see if John was wrong.
This fucking moron. No, sorry. Actually, no, I'm sorry. But if I'm not mistaken, like there's a lot of like lore behind it, and like they do a lot of like religious aspects of it to intercut with the lore.
Right.
And from what I've gathered, like the whole story is like one of the original alternates, maybe not, but an alternate came, or no, Satan was an alternate, and he killed Jesus and took his place or something like that. So that's like part of the lore.
Yeah.
Is that
okay, like
Jesus,
it ties in with
Jesus
like
is
existing.
an alternate. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really weird and like
that sounds dope though.
Yeah,
I'd
it's
like
super,
to check that out.
super interesting. Like just like
that's cool.
Like
just having stuff like that in mind and writing lyrics, like that can get you so far.
I literally wrote a song about alternates, and I'm really hyped on it, honestly.
Even with music too.
Like we haven't like practiced it yet, but I showed it to somebody and they were like, "Yo, this is the heaviest thing I've ever heard you write." I was like,
"That's sick."
Let's go.
Yeah, so, with
that was a big compliment. I really liked that. I was very happy.
With the Sleepsculptor stuff, there's a lot of like picture kind of stuff going on, like concepts. So like if I'm writing music for that, like I'll be keeping that kind of stuff in mind. And there was some of that on the new album. But yeah, with like my lyric writing approach and stuff like that, I've learned a lot, I would say, in the last like year or so working on the new Toothless record. I basically had to rewrite like a ton of lyrics because the producer, who like this is what they're there for, like to get you the best record, was basically, he pointed me to this habit that I had that I didn't even realize, where I was following the music rhythmically a lot, and until he pointed it out, like I had no idea.
Oh, okay.
So like I took a lot of that, and I ended up like rewriting around the music rather than like copying the riffs and stuff.
Writing around it rather than writing to it.
Yeah, because like he was explaining to me, it takes away a lot of like the impact of the vocals and the impact of the song like entirely when you're just copying, the same kind of patterns and whatnot.
That's interesting.
I definitely learned like a lot about that, like rhythmically with writing, and also with my lyrical approach. I think I have to start kind of writing more poetry again. Like I kind of used to write in like a poetry first kind of thing, and then and then when I would get songs like from the band, I would kind of scroll through my phone and be like, okay, what would fit with this?
Yeah.
All my notes being in my phone, but
your dozens of notes app things.
Yeah.
I have the same thing.
My Google Keep app is insane.
Do you write any lyrics for any of the Sleepsculptor stuff, or is that like?
I didn't for this record. I might have helped a little bit, but I might with the next record.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That kind of goes into my next question. So I just asked you about Toothless. Same thing, but Sleepsculptor. No, like how did
Go.
how did Sleepsculptor come to be a thing? And why the hell did y'all blow up so fast?
Man, I don't know. The music, I guess.
Can I just say, this is me being jealous and bitter. I love Jake Moyer with all my heart. He is such a good dude, and I love him to death. But damn it, he's already a Gallagher endorsed artist. Damn it! I want to be one.
Hey man, reach out. I don't know.
I know.
Maybe.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, do it up.
I feel like we don't like play out enough to really warrant that. But anyway, but yeah, how did Sleepsculptor come to be a thing?
So with Sleepsculptor, I was filling in for a couple shows on bass.
Okay.
I don't remember what year. I want to say like 2018.
Didn't James also fill in on bass?
So James was one of the founding members.
Okay.
So it was Hunter, Ben, the two vocalists, and Jake on guitar, and James on drums, I think, originally. But yeah, like when they would play shows, like you would have Eric on drums so that James could play bass, and just like whoever was around to be able to fill out the parts would play. So eventually they were just looking for somebody to play bass. They had somebody, it didn't work out. Then I filled in for a couple of shows. Gotcha, and it was basically like, hey, if you want to just play bass. I'm like, oh, okay. Because, James is already in it. So
yeah, no,
like
if
Toothless had to miss a shoe, it wouldn't be like another band. It would just be like, I'm also with Sleepsculptor too. So I figured it'd be fine for scheduling then, because either way James is going to be in that. But yeah, I ended up just sticking around, and like it was just a lot of fun being able to not be in frontman mode.
Yeah.
And just kind of like jam out and just play bass and have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite things to do when you're playing bass? Like, do you have like a go-to thing that you like to do, or just kind of like whatever comes over you in the moment?
Dude, whatever comes over me. I don't know. I do like trying to like. I connect with James a lot when we're playing, just because like we're the rhythm section, so just like trying to stay as locked in as I can with James. So like we'll have those moments where like there's a part and we're just like locked in and just like jamming together. It's a cool moment. Or like I don't know. I'm just I like to do stupid dances when I can.
Yeah, same. I was actually asking Eric. I was like, yeah, I was asking him, like, what do you like doing when you play live? Like, I think I asked him if he like thinks about like what he can do like during a certain parts or whatever. And because I do that a little bit, like I'm like I just kind of want to like headbang and like have fun and look
definitely
like, look silly and everything. One of my
There's parts where where it's like you don't have to focus as much, so you can just go ham and like make it fun to watch and try to get people into it and stuff.
Yeah, one of my favorite things to do, like when I'm headbanging, is like if it's a part where I can just like constantly just bob my head up and down, I like to just like open my mouth and just like just because it looks stupid.
Yeah. That's fun.
It's fun though. I love doing that and just like spinning around in a circle. I don't know why, but just spinning around in a circle, headbanging and kicking my leg up is like my favorite thing to do.
Do you have a wireless?
Yes, I need to get a new one because my wireless is like held together with gaff tape.
Yeah.
Because it broke when I was on tour one time. I was doing this thing. I was doing a chariot move. It was when Crafter was on tour, and oh god, it was when Crafter was on tour, and I did this thing where I was like the song was just like very simple, like hold it open for like 4 measures or whatever, and then do it again. And so like I would do that. I would like strum it, headbang down really hard, and then like come back up and like whip it kind of like behind me like Casey Wolf used to do.
Yeah.
And I would just do that, and at one point I did it, and I think my wireless like slammed into my bass or slammed into me or something. Basically it fell off and just shattered.
Yeah.
And like that little like metal connector piece that like connects the batteries, like the batteries touch that and sends the whole thing, makes it work and everything. That broke off like in the middle of the song when that happened. So I'm like
No good.
trying to like scurry around and find my wireless and everything.
Yeah.
And it wasn't great. I remember going to the back being like, okay, I just won't use my wireless. It's fine. But I couldn't find my like instrument cables that I had as backup. Mm-hmm. So I went to the back, like I put my bass down quick, ran to the back of the back of the venue or whatever, to the band that was playing after us. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Do you have one instrument cable I could borrow really quick? My wireless just broke. And they literally just looked at me. I was like, cool, good talk. And then I just ran back out and just, did whatever I could. But,
there no help. What the hell?
What the hell, camera? Okay, so you're probably wondering why I'm at this part of the video and why I have a blanket on me and why the video wasn't done. I'm sick, first off. So I'm trying to be cozy. But that's not important. Basically, the recording that Travis and I had was going great, and then like the last half hour, I want to say, it just like my camera started to lag, and it was a Discord call, so there was a lot of like awkward pauses between us talking, and it was just unusable. And so I figured I'm going to stop it here before it got too horrible. And because I was editing right now and I noticed that, so I decided I'm going to stop it here before it gets too horrible. And we'll probably just pick it up again, because I know where we left off. It's whatever. Nothing matters. But I wanted to at least put this out there, so it wasn't just awkwardly cut, I guess. I don't know what I'm saying. But, yeah, this was the interview with Travis Antoniello, I think is how you pronounce his last name. He only told me 3 times, and I still don't remember. But hope you enjoyed it. If you like it, I'll do it part 2. I'm going to do a part 2 anyway. Don't look at me like that. Evie's over there. Yeah. I'm going to get going now, but I wanted to give a little, just to clarify what happened. So, I'll figure this out at some point in my life. I don't know. Who cares? Okay, thanks. Bye.